Welcome to Middle Earth. It is after the Third Age, it's the Fourth Age, after the destruction of the Ring. We have great kingdoms at this time, but still the rivalries last until this day. We have the great kingdoms in the south of Gondor, Harad and Umbar. Even after the destruction of the Ring, these countries were in rivalry, and as Gondor seemed weakened, the Umbar began to make raids against Gondor with their great corsair ships, and they raided all the ports of Gondor. The Haradrim, who saw that Gondor was weak, sent out pillaging parties and pillaged through the Gondorian countryside. This was a problem for Gondor, since its coffins ran dry. But then they had an idea. They knew they had to act fast. That's why they gathered a huge army from all over the kingdom to march into the south and crush the Haradrim once and for all. They began to march their army over the great river that divided Gondor and the Haradrim, and they began their march to the Haradrim capital. The Haradrim knew of this invasion, and when they got the news of this invasion, they decided to meet the Gondorians. They assembled a huge army of Haradrim and Umbarians, since Umbar knew that if they wouldn't defend Harad, that Gondor would move on to them next. So they met right outside the capital of the Haradrim. In the great battle that ensued, the Gondorians had larger numbers, but the Haradrim had their homeland and their skill. Still, the Gondorians charged the Haradrim. The Haradrim held strong, but then they were ambushed. A huge party of Anorians came from behind and swept through the Haradrim lines, breaking them and routing them instantly. Many units of the Haradrim were beaten in this final battle, and Gondor had a free pass to go to the Haradrim capital without anyone standing in their way. There was only one problem. The Gondorians now ascended on the Haradrim capital, but before they could do that, they had to take two outposts right outside the city. The Umbar and Harad knew that this was the final fight. If the capital fell, then Gondor would crush the Haradrim. So they decided to fortify the hills with reinforcements from the capital and bring all the units that were routing back into the fight for one last stand against the Gondorians. The Gondorians knew that they had to take the hills to get a resupply, so they attacked. Hello and welcome to the battlefield. I made this short intro to give a short summary of the history of this fight. And yeah, you can see here we have this hill defense, the Haradrim and the Umbar player fighting together as one. And we have huge armies and again, artillery just going ham, and yeah, I'm not going to go over the armies, what they are bringing, because it's mostly the same. It's just like different units of archers, pikemen, heavy infantry, and some cavalry against a lot of infantry and archers, and one catapult each. And we can see here the catapult opening fire and getting a perfect hit on the Southwood pikemen. Like, this is game-changing hits. If they can get more hits like that, this will be over for the Haradrim players. Because remember, the Haradrim players, which one of me actually is in this battle. I'm here Harad, we have one Umbar, which is like in the info you saw, like this, more like pirate faction, but which has very elite infantry, and we have here the other heroic player. So commanding the armies one is Papanoi. We have the Amber player, which is commanded by Obese Athlete. Then we have me, of course, as Herat. And as the attackers, we have one is Proxima Centauri. We have Lord Whalecom. And as the last army, I think it is Gondor, right here, yeah, by MEK Lango. Yes. And this is how the battle is going to start. Just a skirmish phase. Skirmishers opening fire on those enemy skirmishers, which are positioned at this hill, which is a very good position to fire down at the enemies, but you have to watch out, because if you don't move up enough, your shots are just going to go into the dirt. And you want them to find a human flesh of an enemy. But also the hill is protecting from enemy fire, so I guess it's a trade-off a little bit. We have these Corsair crossbowmen opening fire, I believe, yeah, against the enemy archers, which are firing upon that hill. And we have Gondor just moving up their archers right into the pikemen faces and just shooting at them. Pikemen don't have a very good defense against ranged units and just are going to be slaughtered by those archers. And the problem is Herat can't charge down either, because if they charge down they lose their defensive position, they're going to get disorganized, and the archers can just run away. They are faster than the infantry. And yeah, that's why he can't chase them down. But if he's sitting ducks, he's just going to lose all his infantry, and then his archers are there, will be there alone, because it's a tricky situation which Herat is in, basically. But he has some Southern Warband with have little shields, so they are more immune to archer fire. And if you find yourself in a position like this, where you're just getting shot at by archers, but no infantry is moving in, I would go into loose formation. This basically means that, like here, the units are standing more apart. They're not as good at fighting, but they get less archer fire, and as soon as the infantry moves up, you can just go back into normal position. And you can see here, one of the Gondor players is moving around, trying to attack this flank, which I'm defending with pikemen and warriors. And I have still some archers on these hillsides, which is a very good position to just fire down, and maybe even if the Gondor infantry is here, they can fire down at their flanks, which is going to be very juicy and very deadly. We have here some archers just standing in a perfect line. Even so, I moved them into loose formation. They are just going to stand here as a group. They like to cuddle, I don't know. Just random archers. Let them do what they want. Yeah, and here is still the Southern pikemen just being shotted by arrows. And look at this! Corsair crossbowmen just getting killed by the enemy archers. We have here the Hashari stalkers, which are also just getting shot at. And here we have the first infantry charge from the Norway player. I sent down some dismounted up and got a very elite unit to just fill in the gap, because we didn't know that this was a pathway the Arno player could take. We just had archers there, but happily I had some infantry. Beside that, I have my Southern pikemen, but the Bellinger footmen are going to get behind that and attack my missile unit and Beastmasters, which it's never good to have missile units that are not out of ammo in the fight, so I have to get them out of there. And I'm moving in more Southern pikemen. Here still no commitment from the enemy infantry. Over here, no commitment either. We have just a skirmisher battle between the Gondor archers down there and my Haradrim archers up on this hill. Gondor infantry, Gondor archers shooting at my archers, which are just standing there. I'm not sure why I'm not firing back, but maybe I'm saving it for the infantry later. But we have here some Haradrim archers on the second layer of the hill, just having perfect shots down a perfect... Oh, and they disappeared. They just hid from the enemy and also from me. So this is pretty good, I would say. And we have still this fight going on. My Wuhad Beastmaster still in the fight, which is very bad. I should get him out of there. But at least most archers didn't get attacked. And we have here the Corsair crossbowmen down to 23 men. All the rest got shot at by the enemy archers, but we got a lot of kills as well. Look at this. This is all from the skirmish phase. Because in defense battles, skirmishers for both sides are very important. And we have here archers shooting the defenses, some going over the top, and we can see here another archer volley. Fire arrows actually, which are not as fired even longer time to fire and are not as accurate, but they can break the enemy. If they burn the enemy to a crisp, the troops are going to run from it. They will be afraid of the archers, of the fire arrows, even though they are not as deadly. Pikemen just holding the line together with the dismounted circle guard. And we have some champions of Nagfat, which are absolutely useless. No. Oh no, this is heavy infantry. A two-handed as it seems. They are going in at the side of the Marines. They are already very tired, they fought a long time already. And because they had to move up this mountain, this is not going too good for them. You can see some are shaking already, and yeah, you can see the first guys are broken, they are going to flee the battlefield. And that is going to be like the biggest reason why the defenders, or how the defenders can win this battle, is by breaking the enemy forces that are charging into the defenses and just routing the enemy armies. Just let them run at your defenses and kill them. And here we have a commitment from infantry as well to the southern warband. Down here we have some Gondor militiamen in the reserve, just waiting until these guys break through. We have some elite infantry, look at this, the all Amrith heavy infantry moving in, just cutting through those southern warbands. They won't be able to hold long, but maybe long enough for some reinforcements to show up. Down here we have a commitment of infantry as well. Look at this perfect V shape here. They pushed through a lot. We have some pikemen and some shieldmen, some Wuhad beast tamers fighting the Gondor infantry. And look at this, this is a perfect blob for just archers to shoot down at. I think I'm focusing down. No, I'm shooting at the enemy's archers, because enemy archers are very important for taking down defenses and defensive positions. That's why I'm focusing them down, just to get them off the battlefield. We have the Gondor infantry here. Fortunately, I have enough reserves here, and as you can see, I'm defending this small mountain path as well with some archers. We have some Anduin lances from the defenders. Probably they charged in. Yeah, look at this. They charged in and got a huge amount of infantry without losing a single soul. And Dol Amroth is going to attack this side of the mountain. probably moving some infantry here. Then we have the Numenorians focusing on this side, and Gondor focusing on these two choke points. And I suggest, yeah, Numenor and Dol Amroth both have a lot of reserves. And here we could hear the Haradrim horn to not give up the fighting. I finally pulled out my no, I still didn't pull out my beast, my beast hunters. I should get them out of there. I don't know why I'm not doing that. Doesn't matter really. And here we have some archers which ran out of ammo. That's why they moved in. And look at this. We have some enemies behind the enemy. Behind our lines. Oh, but they are breaking. Because normally if you can outflank the enemy, it's like game over for your troops, but it seems like the other Haradrim player is moving up reserves to counter this breakthrough. Yeah, and got infantry breaking. We have some halberdiers moving up, maybe able to face those pikemen when time comes. And both players are conserving their artillery. Oh no, spoke too soon. They're going to ready up the catapults to fire at the huge blob of Haradrim. Maybe they can get a good hit. Let's look. Let's see. Oh, that went overhead. Didn't hit anything. Let's see. 2 more fiery balls of justice and... ooh! Both hitting the cliff. Yeah. Because both teams only could bring 1 artillery to make it more balanced, and that means that you have to be very conservative with your artillery. I've put up my artillery right here, and I didn't fire a single shot yet. I'm really trying to save my ammunition. I still have my elite infantry, some serpent body, some serpent guard. My ally Umber has some spearmen and some elite infantry, and still we have some archers to just, if the time comes, if they break through at one choke point, they can just flank around and get the other choke points from behind. And if that happens, we would be killed. Every choke point would be just surrounded and we would be killed, because remember, the attackers have more units, so they can push through. That means if one side fails, we have to pull back all troops to the inner defenses to have a chance. But yeah, oh, here we go, some great artillery hits from the Gondorians. I have pulled out my serpent guard. They are very tired. Give them time to rest so they can join the fight at a later stage of the battle. And we can see here the Arnor player has been pushed back. They couldn't break through, and we have even some Haradrim troops moving down, I think. Maybe they have been cleared out. They were moving down and just stopping this new reinforcements from Arnor. We have some archers here, firing at this huge battle. Seems like they're going for the enemy archers, which are in prolonged melee, which is not good. Those archers are getting shot at, and they're getting cut down by infantry. And we have here some war beasts charging down, but if they stay in melee too long, they're going to get cut down. That's why the Serad player is going to move them out. He just has to do cycle charges after cycle charges. And you can see here, the Gondorians are breaking through at this point. We have no reserve infantry. We have some Haradrim archers that ran out of ammo that I pulled over here, but this point is breaking. We don't have any more reserves. We have here some units fighting, and still some archers opening up or shooting as many Gondorian people as they can. But we don't have any reserves for this flank, which means, here we go, Umber is retreating his units, so am I. Trying to get out of there and trying to not get outflanked. But here we have it. my defense has been breached, and he could move past a Gondor cavalry, which will be a pain. They're going to kill so many units, especially if I retreat my units, because my units are out of position, and they get a great charge into the backs of those blue-haired warriors. Look at this, only losing a couple of men against like 30 or 40 troops if I move out these warriors. I'm moving back. I still have my archers which have ammo, but the only way I can get back is through this place, which is why I sent my Serpent Guard, my light cavalry actually, but they are more like a heavy cavalry because they have a lot of armor and very elite unit, and they're going to try to charge the Gondorians so I can get as many troops out of there as possible. We have all to fall back to the defenses, because else our units are just going to get surrounded and cut down. There's still some spearmen over here holding the Gondorians, but most of our troops are just trying to fall back to the inner defenses. We have still a lot of troops, we still have a catapult, but so does the enemy. They have still a lot of troops. They have used all their crappy troops, but they have a lot of elite troops now left, and we see each other, yeah. And they still have the catapult. Here we have still units, very elite units, which have not seen any combat yet. This will be a very interesting battle. Can the Haradrim use the defenses and defeat the Gondorians? Will the Haradrim pose, or will the Gondorians break through? This is the question of the battle. And here you can see I'm trying to get my archers out of this battle, trying to retreat them, but I see here, yeah, they put up some citadel guard. Pronunciations very hard for me, and they put them here so I couldn't sneak past my units. Now there is another way to get those units out of here, which is all this way around the hill and then up this choke point, but you can see they've broke through my southern pikemen, and that means that they can put up some defenses here so I can get my units out of there. My units are officially trapped. They can't get out of there, which means that they have to fight to the death. You can see here I'm trying to hold this breach and get my archers to fire at the Gondorians, get as many kills as possible, just trying to get all their, or use all the arrows that they have, but they are not firing yet, which I don't know why they are not firing. And then we have here the Umber player still holding this choke point, because we have here the Dol Amroth army. Still, this army I didn't even see. Still a huge and healthy army of Dol Amroth people pushing down at this side. Now they have some archers and they have some infantry, some elite infantry, which means that they can hold this. They can hold Dol Amroth, but only if it were only Dol Amroth. Because Gondor comes from behind, and if Gondor flanks those defenders, then they are going to just get demolished, just surrounded. You can see this here, some raven hounds of Caer Andúr's flanking around, and just like pikemen are very good, and choke points are very good if they can just fight enemies head on, but if they are surrounded, they are just trash. They are going to get cut down and they are just going to waver and run away. And here we have the first attack, and we have my catapult opening up fire, and we can see here a perfect hit on the Gondorians, very elite units. And this is just a prime position for this catapult, just perfect. Look at this. Risking some friendly fire, yes, but it's going to be worth it. You see this? A huge amount of Númenóreans breaking, because they don't like this fiery balls of justice. Oh, I have another good artillery hit. This catapult is here to get a lot of kills, but more importantly it's going to break the enemy units. And this is what is going to let us win, if we can win this. It doesn't look that great. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units surrounded here that are all going to get cut down. Those units would be more effective if they were up here and could hold this choke point, but let's see if we can hold. We still have some very elite infantry. And we have still some archers. Yeah, we still have some archers. I have my southern archers. My allies have serpent fangs, which are a very good archer unit. And I still have my Wuhan beast hunters. You've seen them at the start of the battle, and you can see them here on the end. And we have the Gondorians firing their artillery into my units, trying to get as many kills. And here's the problem. Look at this. The Gondorians have so much archers left and so much ammunition from the archers, which means that they can just shoot at our infantry, which is just standing there. And the artillery trying to get them, but all the shots going through the hillside. And my Serpent Guard, which would be perfect in this fight, are just getting shot down by arrows, and I can't do anything about it. I could fall back and get them into loose formation, but ooh, look at this. Because the catapult doesn't care if you're an elite unit or if you're not, it's just going to wreck lives. And here you go, I put them into loose formation and get them, yeah, just trying to save as many lives as possible. And you can see here more units trying to stop the bleeding, stop the Gondorians from breaking out anywhere, because if they can break out and get those archers,
we have lost half
then
of our men.
This is bad. And look at the balance of power. We have 56% of our allies are killed and 58% of the enemy. But the enemy lost all the crappy units. So did we, but this is very close, and as the defenders we don't want it close. Because look at this, we are the red and they are the blue, which means that they have a lot more men. And if it's just men fighting each other, we would lose instantly. But we have the defensive positions, we have some archers, we have a catapult. This catapult is the most important thing of the siege, because the catapult has to, yeah, just kill so many enemies that the balance of power shifts into our favor. And we have here some men-at-arms fleeing. And we have here some, yeah, perfect. My Chevy units just throwing the javelins and just throwing them into this huge blob of Mongolian forces, which are just trying to push through. And here we have the rest of my forces getting killed by the Raven Helms. We have the Umbar forces, which were killed by the Dol Amrith forces. And look at this. These are all big reserves which they have. We have some crossbowmen getting cut down by some heavy infantry. But I have some cavalry. And with cavalry, even though it's a siege battle, cavalry is very strong. It can charge down at enemy units and just break them. And look at this. My ally Umbar has the Aldunian lances, and they charged into this infantry. And look at this. This is an elite unit. This is a very strong unit, and my artillery firing up at them. Because these units, the Haven Guard and the Paradil champions, I don't know how to pronounce them, they are a very good unit. And if we can kill them from afar, or through cavalry charges, that means that we don't have to deal with them in close combat, because in close combat they would just cut through our forces. Even our elite forces will probably not match the Haven Guard.
They lose their will to fight.
But look at this, the blue uniforms, the Sworn at the end, those two-handed units, very elite unit, very cool. We have some Fountain Guard moving up, and we have some archers firing down at our defenses. This is going to come down to... oh, look at this. Arno's men rogue, which means I can reform my defenses, but the Minotaurians can't let that happen. They can't let me reform my defenses. They have to keep pushing and just take this hill. But I had enough time. I put up my pikesmen behind my heavy infantry. I'm bringing more dismounted serpent guard. Let's see. We still have some Heraldon archers. We have my catapults. Oh, and we have... yeah. This was the enemy catapult shooting at the serpent fangs, which is not the best unit to go for, but it still racks up a lot of kills. And look at this. All from archers, enemy archers, just killing those serpent fangs. This defense is not looking good. If we look at the balance of power, it's still in favor of Gondor, but percentage is better because 4% more of the attackers have been killed than the defenders. Here we go. The Minotaurians attacking. Now we have the Haven Guard and the champions in the fight, and they are going to just cut through those serpent fangs. But yeah. This artillery, if they can get a hit, oh, perfect artillery hit right in the backs of those units, going to cause fear. Look at this, they are shaken. Marksmen of care animals. And yeah, Gondor is moving up more archers, more infantry, some X-Men of Losnar, but yeah, I still have some ammo with my archers, which means that the lead two-handers, which don't have any shields, I can just focus them down with arrows. And this is very important because if they can get into the fight, I would be risking friendly fire if I would fire to this blob. It means if I can kill the reserves with my archers, I can get a lot of kills. The artillery just missing those units. Oh! This was a good hit by the artillery, marksmen of care and worse. And we see the balance of power is shifting slowly and steadily. 6% more of the attackers have been killed than the defenders. But, again, another good hit. But, ow! And another great hit! Oh my god! Even though they are archers, these units, the marksmen of care and worse, are very good at fighting melee. But if I can take them out, look at this. Look at these blobs. Just artillery hits. Perfect artillery hits. Now we have more other units trying to push through. We have some war beastmasters. And here, look at those. The trollmen of Arad just chanting the battlefield. And look at this. My Wuhard beast hunters throwing the chavies. Oh! A great artillery hit from the Gondorians into my Muad Beast Hunters. Good unit to focus down because they are in the open and they are a ranged unit, and this blob is perfect for ranged units. But you can see my lines are thinning this. Only one man in this line, which means that they have pushed up the seafarers of Nindamos, and they are just going to push through the side and trying to flank around. And you can see here, oh, we missed it, but I got a great charge at this at this X-Men, Losnar X-Men, with my cavalry, and look at this! This is all death from the cavalry. Not this, but here. Just charging down my cavalry into enemy lines and getting a huge amount of kills without losing that many of my own. Which is also very important. Oh no. We missed it, but look at this. Look at this artillery hit. This must have been juicy artillery hit, but my units, they are not going to break, they are going to stand, and they are going to fight. Now this is going to be a choke pointy battle. I bring some Sutherland archers just to get more bodies there. I can't let them break through. They still have a lot of units. The Gondorian Stol Amworth still brings the units over. Black Swarm Renegades, very elite unit, and strong units. We have still some champions. They have a catapult. They have some Haven Guard, but here, look at this. The cavalry just behind enemy lines and going for the elite units and charging them. Oh my god, look at this. Just a great charge with my cavalry. And look at this. I lost 3 horsemen. It took out about, what are this? Like 20 units of the swordmasters. And those are very elite units. That means if I can charge them well with my cavalry, they're just going to be, yeah, they're just all going to die without being able to do anything. Now I'm charging for the catapult because I don't want it opening fire. If they could get some good hits with this catapult, this fight would be over, but I'm silencing their catapult. I still have my own catapult. Let's see if I can use it. Maybe if I can get some hits on those Battlefellers Marines. They are Chevy units as well, and they are going to throw their Chevys into our defenses. And look at this. Catapult is ready. Those poor men don't know what will hit them. And here we go. Oh! Ah! Got 1 unit. Like this man is all. No! I will avenge you! I will avenge you! How could you? This was my friend. And we have here the Chevys throwing into the war beasts, which are heavy cavalry. And look at this. They broke through at this line, and I brought over my Troman of Arad to stop the bleeding. Because look at this. Here are basically no units left. It means that they can just attack my... Oh! Oh! No! Oh god! I got a hit, but I took out a lot of my Troman. Friendly fire is something... Oh, look at this. Hold that part. Yeah, the Corsair fences throwing the daggers or swords into the sides of the workers. But look at this. I got a ton of kills on my... a ton of friendly fire on my own units. This is the risk of using artillery. I mean, they were blobbing, so I got a lot of hits, but... Ooh! Look at this, just a long line of death, of just burning those. Oh, and there goes one of the Gondor generals, I think. And if their general is dead, they're going to break. The units are just going to lose their hope, just going to run away. And my catapult is assisting. Oh, another great hit on those elite units. And see, these are elite units, and they are waking, probably because their general broke. They don't have anything to fight for, no one to command them, and then a fiery wall of justice just ripping through them. It doesn't care about their armor, it doesn't care about their skill, and they're just out of here. They don't care, they want to save their own lives. They are elite units. Why are they going to the front lines? They are elite units. Why should they attack a random mountain? They are out of here. Running by the catapult, and I still have my serpent guard here, ready to bring pain upon those men. Look at this. I think here was another great charge from my cavalry. Yes. Some X-Men have lost not breaking as well. And look at this. The balance of power is slowly shifting. 4% more of the attackers have been killed, but look at this. Slowly the red is overtaking the blue. If we can get another good breaks from the enemy, another good artillery hits, or maybe just... oh, look at this. Gondorians surrounding here the very skilled shield bearers, the Malakath, I think that's how you pronounce them. Just surrounding them and cutting them off. If... yeah, here we go. He has to send reinforcements. He can't let the enemy surround us. Because if the enemy surrounds us, they're just going to slaughter our units. And here we go. We have some spearmen holding this flank, the Royal Legion of Amarellos. We have some archers moving up here. They're going to have a good target. They can just shoot down at the west. Do we have any... yeah, we have still some good reserves. We have some X-Guard, we have some Narun Aru Sentinels, which are a very elite spear unit, and we have some Harbingers of Castamere, a great two-handed unit, and we have the Catapult. Some Cossack Blackguard, and what does the enemy have? They have some archers, they have some halberds. But look at this, most of the units, look at this huge trail of units just breaking. And lead units like the champions, the X-Men of Losnach, just breaking from the battle, running away. And look at this. This was the first defense. Just the amount that everywhere. This was from the skirmish phase, you can see everywhere skirmish phase, and here was infantry fighting. Look at this. Look at all those fallen soldiers. And for what? For what? With the Gondorians, but the Gondorians are still in healthy numbers. They can still do it. Going to flank around, and here's my general flanking the catapult crew, which has probably run out of ammo, which means they are in the thick of the fight. And this is my general, that means if he dies I will not have any morale left as well, but I don't have that many units, so I still have my Trollman of Arad, and here this lone unit of Serpent Bodyguard. He's not going to go out with a fight, he's defending his homeland. You can see 5 guys, 5 men-at-arms trying to fight him, but he's going to stand. Look at this, and he got a kill. No! Ah, he died. Man. And we have here some other dismounted Serpent Guard. Oh, this is the last one. And he died as well. Cut down by the champions. The Gondorians are really pushing. Like, oh, but we have some cavalry charges against the archers, which is important. It's just very important to defeat the archers, especially at the end if they still have ammo, because in the end, if they still have ammo, they can use it as these choke points, which means that you have always to watch out to not lob up your forces. If the enemy has archers, you have always to be careful about lobbing up your units. And I still have my catapult, I still have ammo with my catapult. Yeah, but look at the balance of power. 88 to 92% have been killed. The balance of forces is evenly matched. This is going to be a close fight. Close fight. With some Harbingers of Castamere trying to reinforce this part of the battle. Oh, something. Oh, we have here the Seraphers of Nimandur's missile units, which are just shooting at the backs. Oh, where's this archer fire coming from? Oh, here, Castamere with Rangers. They still have ammo shooting at the side of these Sword Masters, which is a very good unit. They don't have any shield. Okay, they have shields on their backs, but the shield on the back is not going to defend them if the arrow just hits him here in the chest or something. Or maybe an arrow too. Okay, so I'm back, I had to do something. Yeah, but let's get back into the battle. I just rested my voice a little bit, because it has been a long battle. Look at this. But this should be the end. We have some X-Men fighting the Sword Masters. We have still the cavalry charging at the backs of the enemy and breaking some men-at-arms. Breaking these units is now key, but it seems to me like the defenders are going to take it. But you see here the Haven Guard, very elite unit. Oh, and we got another general. This is my general, I think. Yes, this was my general. I charged in to get some kills from behind, but it didn't matter. Here we got the Fountain Guard, also elite unit, and they are going to stand. They can still, Gondor can still win this if they, look at this, they are warmed up, they are eager, victory seems certain. Oh, victory is a distinct possibility. Okay, they changed their minds really fast. Probably because of the calf from behind. But the calf is just standing there in prolonged melee, and that is when the calf is going to die. Just get them out of there and make more cycle charges. Don't leave them in the battle. Even if it's just one calf, it can do a lot of damage. And here we go. Casimir's Rangers coming from behind, flanking those Fountain Guard. They are a pike unit, so they are stronger if you face them head on, and will not perish, because they are very strong even if they are flanked, but yeah, they're just going to. Being surrounded is never a good sign. Not for morale and not for fighting ability, especially for pike units. And here we go. The champions, routing, broken. They will not return to the battle. But some Raven Helms of Endwars that are just like, they can't even look at the fight, they're just looking at the rock. No, I don't know, they're stuck, I guess. And here comes the War Beasts of Harad, cleaning them up, like with great Warhawks, I think. Or Rhinos. Oh! And here goes one of the generals, Dol Amurath or Arnor, I think. No, Numenor. This was a general from Numenor, a part of the Sword Masters. Or the Royal Legion. Well, Royal Legion sounds more like a general would be. But here the Great Axes cleaning up this battlefield. And look at this. Look at that choke point here, the last choke point. So much death. And if you can look closely, and here goes the last Hararan general. I think all generals are dead now. Yeah, I think all generals are dead. And if you look closely enough, you can see from the dead where cavalry charged in, like these lines of dead units. You can see the blobs of units from the catapult, and we have the first player who has admitted defeat. You can see the enemies admitted defeat. Fountain Guard is breaking. This battle is over. You can see on the frames that is still left in the battle that this battle is over. Still some brave Haven Guard holding out, and oh no, here is still one general, and he's breaking. Has admitted defeat as well. I think that was the Lord Railcom. Beautiful name, by the way. And the last player has admitted defeat. And here goes the last general, dead, slain upon the battlefield. And here are the stats. You can see I brought a lot of crappy units, and the other two players brought elite units, but I still got more kills than them. So here you can see Gondor, Dol Amroth, and they all bring many units, but still elite units. But Harad did it. Harad defended their homeland. They defended on the hill, and Gondor has to fall back, maybe regroup, and maybe attack again if they want to completely invade Harad. But Harad lives another day. Yeah. Here we can see the casualties caused, and here you can see 237 kills by the Serpent Fangs. This is an archer unit, and look at these units, all like 100 kills. The Southern Pikemen, not that great. Or the War Beasts of Harad. I expected more from them because they are heavy calf, but well, what you gonna do? And here we have my units, and you can see my Serpent Guard, my cavalry, got more kills than my catapult, but almost all my catapult, 264 kills, and some of them were really good units, so this was just Yeah, this was just a slaughter. You can see all the enemies killed. Left only a handful of troops. So much death in this battle, but this is what we're here for. Okay, so this was the battle replay. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye.